Nintendo has a lot of great looking special edition controllers. This is going to be my top 10 list. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. The controllers you're seeing right now is just a taste. Some of them will make the list, some of them will not. So these are not necessarily going to be in my top 10. Before I get to my top 10 list, feel free to comment below what are your favorite special edition controllers of all time. They don't have to be from the Nintendo consoles. And one note, the NES and the Super Nintendo are not included in this list because they don't really have any special edition controllers. So this is going to include consoles from the N64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch. Home consoles, Nintendo only. Let's get to it. First up at number 10, from the Animal Crossing Special Edition for New Horizons, we have the L and R Joy-Cons, especially with the really nice custom-themed Joy-Con straps. These controllers are so unique to me, especially because, yes, the coloring scheme's different. It's pastel color with pastel green, pastel blue, and we also have the white Joy-Con strap attachments, but these right here, they kind of just remind us of going to camp. These are controllers that my wife and I, we do like to use them while we're gaming. That's a question I kind of have for everyone else. Do you want to use the special edition controllers that you have while you game? Because these will eventually suffer from Joy-Con drift, which is obviously a major concern for any gamer, and I do remember reading in the fine print on the Nintendo website, if you do send in your controllers to have them fixed, your Joy-Cons, you might not get the exact same ones back if they can't repair them. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to ever use these actually when I game. I also love the fact that they designed the system and everything around it. So we do have the unique themed dock. The system itself does have decals on the back of it, which is unique to Animal Crossing. I wish they went a little bit even further with the system, and maybe the system wasn't black, maybe it was red. These Joy-Cons just narrowly beat out the Mario Joy-Cons for this list, because the Mario ones are nicely themed as well, but they're a little bit plain red until you put everything else on. There's not too much unique about these, and really they came after the Animal Crossing ones. If these ones came first, they probably would have been at number 10, but because the Animal Crossing ones came first, that's why they're number 10 on this list. And also, I don't have that many items that are Animal Crossing themed in my collection, so I love seeing Nintendo give Animal Crossing series some love. At number 9, 10 years ago, we got a themed controller for Skyward Sword. Before the Joy-Cons even came out, we have this gold Zelda Wii Remote. This special edition is going up in value. It's now hundreds of dollars, especially if it's in really good condition. Not only did it come with Skyward Sword, can't wait for the re-release of that on the Nintendo Switch. I'm shocked that it's going to be full price. I really hope they add more content or fix the game a little bit like The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I really hope they soup the game up and kind of fix some of the things that need to be fixed in that game. But you also got the music soundtrack in this, and that soundtrack is fantastic from The Legend of Zelda Orchestra. So the controller itself right here, it only made it to number 9 on this list because we do have the Zelda emblem on here with the bird from the game and also the Triforce, but other than that, the controller's pretty plain gold. It does look spectacular when it's gold. Anything Nintendo that's themed gold, my mind automatically goes to either The Legend of Zelda or GoldenEye, because we did have a few golden controllers for GoldenEye, especially on the Wii. I think there's a Pro Controller for GoldenEye on that. But there was an N64 that was gold. There was a Starlight Gold system on the GameCube, but the marketing campaigns were not specific to the Legend of Zelda franchise, and it's too bad, because this controller really is something special. Of course, because it is gold, it could, damage, you could nick it, you could scratch it, so be careful. This is something that I have never really gamed with before. I wish the wrist strap had something unique to it, and I wish they went a little bit farther with the theming of this controller. But the fact that it's so rare, it's from one of my favorite franchises all time, and it's gold, just kind of makes this really collectible, and that's why it's number 9 on my list. For number 8, we're going to jump all the way back to the present with the Nintendo Switch and this Monster Hunter Rise Pro Controller that features Magnum Mallow on it. I have unboxed this controller on my channel recently this year. When I first did so, I was blown away at how great this controller looks. Magnum Mallow is featured on the right-hand side here. Gorgeous design, especially trying to work around these buttons, and the face is visible basically front and center on the controller. We do have the 8 cardinal directions on here as well, around the left joystick. On the back, though, they could have gone a little bit farther with this controller. Originally, I said this is probably my favorite Switch Pro controller. I'm not sure if that holds up with a longer period period of time, and this honestly really makes me think of Breath of the Wild 2. I really hope Nintendo gives us a themed Pro Controller for Zelda and for Mario, for Animal Crossing, for their major franchises, because they've kind of been denying us that for the Pro Controllers, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of asking for those, even though there's a lot of third-party variants out there. So this had a bit more theming, it probably would have been higher up on this list, but I love the design. The gold really speaks volumes on this controller and jumps out at you. The game's a lot of fun as well. Let me know if you've been playing through Monster Hunter Rise. My best friend has been playing it a lot and encouraging me to continue playing it as well. So I love this controller, that's why it's at number 8, and it could have been higher if they took it a little bit farther. Number 7 actually surprised me when I was putting together this list. I have the Wario-themed Club Nintendo controller that's yellow and purple featuring the Wario emblem on it. So this is something that I've had in my collection for a long time. It's the more expensive one of the 3 Club Nintendo controllers. It does have its own themed box from Club Nintendo. This was available only from Japan. We do have this side here that has kind of the denim that Wario wears for his pants. That's where they get that color from. There are a few of the other controllers that are available from Club Nintendo for this. So there's not only the Wario one, you also have the Luigi one that exists, and you also have the Mario one. So it was really hard for me to decide between these 3. I definitely wanted to put one of the 3 in my video right now. The Mario one right here, honestly, there's a lot of Mario controllers that do exist, and there's a lot of kind of third-party ones that are out there that are quite good overall in their design that are kind of mimicking this, and the Luigi one too. You can find them pretty commonly. PDP makes a few of these different variations. That's what makes the Wario one so special. I don't see that many Wario products overall. Wario's a character that I've come to love even more throughout my gaming kind of history with Nintendo. My roommate in university lived and died by Wario in every single minigame that we've ever played in Mario Party and Mario Tennis and even in Super Smash Bros. He loved using that character. Huge shout out to you, John. It's been a long time since we've gamed. I really miss those kind of times. So this controller makes it onto this list for being unique, special just for Wario because you can't find them all that often, and it's an item that a lot of people don't really know about unless you're a collector. This would be something that you would show up to kind of a Smash Bros tournament and people would think, hey, like you had that made yourself, or maybe it's a PDP controller, but it is official. And another reason why it beat out the Mario and the Luigi controllers is it definitely seems to be more rare than these 2. I do think the 2 on the left sold way better than the Wario controller, which makes its value a little bit higher, and it's more collectible because it's harder to find basically out there. So I love the theming on this. The purple really does look fantastic. The stands for these controllers, by the way, are from Rose Colored Gaming that gave me these stands and sent them to me at some point. So huge shout out to them. Love the stands to display all of your controllers. These ones are themed to the GameCube. They even say GameCube in the bottom left-hand corner right there for anyone who's interested in purchasing a stand just like this one. Love the Wario controller. I can just imagine playing games, basically Mario Tennis, and using Wario with this specific controller. So cool, but all 3 of these could have made it onto the list. I just decided to only have one of them. Which of these 3 would you choose? At number 6 is one of Nintendo's newer home runs in terms of game franchises. It's the Splatoon-themed Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. The colors for this, of course, I'm a big fan of, just because, yes, these were the colors that I used with my wife for our wedding party. My groomsmen had green themed, my wife's bridesmaids had pink themed, but not only that, with the 2 handles on the controller, you have this great splatter pattern all over the face of this controller. We use this all the time when we're gaming, and it almost makes me want to get a second one just to keep it in really good condition, or for both of us to use them while gaming, because we both love using this one. Most of my special edition controllers we don't use whenever we're playing on the Nintendo Switch. We try and keep them in good condition, but this one, we kind of just caved and we started using it anyway. So I have no doubt that over time, eventually this will not work as optimally as it should. So all the other Pro controllers on the Nintendo Switch just don't quite live up to what this one is. The different colored handles are similar to the Xenoblade ones. However, there's 2 different colored handles on this one, and honestly, the splatter pattern is just like almost unrecognizable until you take a closer look at the controller. It's almost like a hidden thing until you get close up with this. Almost like thanks to all gamers that was underneath the right joystick of the original controller that was released. Another reason why why this is higher up on my list is because I really personally love the Splatoon series, especially playing multiplayer games. I love the fact that you can play the game online, obviously 4v4, but you can also play the game locally one player. It's not bad. I wish they made the local experience a lot better, especially with couch co-op. I think they could do a better thing with that. I love maybe getting 8 friends together and having 2 TVs. That would be something special if you could do that. Almost like a Mario Party in a way. I love that kind of couch gaming. But Splatoon is a franchise that my wife and I both really enjoy. It's probably one of the games that she's definitely better than I am at. I feel like I'm not that good with the dual joysticks with aiming in too many shooting games. And I remember all the way back to the GameCube and the Wii when I was thinking Nintendo's eventually going to have a shooting game, but I did think it would be something like paintball. I just thought it would be Mario paintball, not squids that are kids that go into your own liquid on the ground in order to travel around faster around the map. I'm really excited for Splatoon 3. I love this theme controller. I can't wait to play Splatoon 3 using it once it eventually releases. For number 5, we're going back to the Wii remotes, but these are actually specific for the Wii U. There's a set of 6 of these officially from Nintendo for all these different characters. We have the main characters, Mario, Luigi, Peach. You have Toad, Bowser, and Yoshi. And it was really hard to decide between all of these. Comment below, which one would you pick if you could only pick one? Now, normally my answer would be Mario, because look at how cool theme this is. We even have kind of yellow for the buttons on Mario. We got the blue, we got the red. So normally I think that would be my answer, but recently, I'm not sure why, and I think I might have a reason for this, but I love the Bowser Wii Remote. So this is what I'm officially putting at number 5 for my list. This controller right here, I love the theming of all of these. They're all really similar. They have the insignia right here of one of the characters. It's just so rare to find official Nintendo Bowser merchandise for anything that's released in terms of a controller. I think this is the only one Nintendo's ever done that's Bowser themed. That's basically the case for a lot of these other characters here as well, but the Mario controller is a lot more common, and Mario does have a lot of different theme controllers that are out there. So you have yellow on the top. We have this kind of orange and green and black different detail work on this. We have green on the back with that orange little button right here, almost for Bowser spikes. And then we have a red specific, unique strap here for the wrist strap. I love theme controllers when they put a lot of effort and time into the thought process of these. Again, these stands are from Rose Colored Gaming. They hold up your controllers really quite nicely whenever you're displaying them. The other one that I really want to give a shout out to is the Peach Wii Remote. I love this one as well. My wife loves gaming with this one, especially with the crown on top with the D-pad. That's such a nice touch on this one. And the blue right here kind of representing her earrings and also the emblem she wears on herself. So these controllers are fantastic, but again, let me know if you had to pick one of these 6, what 6 would you pick, or which one of the 6 would you pick? Right now I'm saying the Bowser Wii Remote because it's so unique, and I love the fact that we finally have something for Bowser that's officially from Nintendo. The Toad and Yoshi ones are both kind of white with blue, white with green, and the Mario and Luigi ones are so common. So if I had to pick my runner-up to this one, it would probably be the Peach one, especially considering how rare something like that is to get released from Nintendo. Again, tons of PvP controllers that are similar to this, just not for the Wii remotes and not for these ones that are specific on the Wii U. If you're looking to collect these, it seems the Mario and Luigi ones are the most common, the least expensive, then probably the Peach one, but then the other 3 are a lot more expensive and harder to find, and Bowser's quite expensive to find, this guy himself as well. So just be aware, and these are so cool to go along with the Zelda Wii Remote that exists, making a set of 7 custom-themed Wii Remotes, even though these are actually catered towards the Wii U with marketing. 4th place on my list has wonderful theming from one of the biggest collectathons of all time. This is the DK64 banana-tipped themed controller. I love Donkey Kong 64 for all of its flaws as well on the N64, but this controller right here, I cannot believe someone eventually at Nintendo came up with this idea. This controller was only available through Nintendo Power Magazine. It was like a write-in contest, and you could win the controller itself. Prices for these have skyrocketed. There's no original box for this that you could get. It pairs really nicely with the jungle green N64 console, and honestly, this game is such a huge collectathon. I hope it eventually eventually gets re-released, and maybe you could use all of the different Kongs just by hitting a button rather than finding one of the switch barrels in the game. But look at these banana tips on this controller. Such a cool, unique idea. And when you're going to try and find or buy this controller, you want to make sure that you can actually see the banana tips. They should go up into the controller a little bit. Each one's supposed to kind of have roughly the same design, but they do fade over time if people are using the controller too much. We also have the DK64 emblem on the top of this controller itself. And this controller is something that is getting way up there in price. It's almost got away from a lot of collectors. I had 2 of these in my collection at one point. I traded the other one away years ago. I'm so proud of this item in my collection. I love it. It is limited, but we don't know exactly how many of these are in existence, but I think it's something special, and it's from one of the games that I truly remember in my childhood, especially for that gaming having a lot of issues to try and play through today. It was a lot of fun. I have so much nostalgia for Donkey Kong 64 and this controller. Released for the remake of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD in 2013, we have the specific gamepad for The Legend of Zelda right here. Now this one, I was not sure how high up on this list the controller would keep moving. I do classify this as an official controller. Yes, you use it to actually control the game and gameplay, so I do think it's a controller. This one kept moving up on my list. It kept gaining points because the design on this is so remarkable. It looks like such a cool tablet with the Triforce symbols and the other logos all around the controller that are unique to The Legend of Zelda, specifically to the Wind Waker game franchise. So this one is one of my favorite games of all time. That's one of the reasons why, yes, it kept moving up and up on my list. I love The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I really hope it does get a release on the Nintendo Switch as maybe a part of a Zelda 3D All-Stars along with Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and maybe Twilight Princess with Wind Waker. Those 4 would really be remarkable. And another reason why this kept moving up on my list is because you can actually use this controller on its own. I remember being in university and a kid at the back of the class one time had a full Wii U plugged into the wall, and he was playing games on the Gamepad. Trying to find this Legend of Zelda set is definitely increasing in value. You do get Hyrule Historia, but it's a download, and I'm not sure how much longer you'll be able to download that basically onto the system for the Wii U support. It's definitely really collectible. I think this is going to be the most expensive Nintendo Wii U system for collectors to try and get their hands on if it isn't already. Prices in my area, I can sometimes find it locally if I get lucky for $200 or less, and sometimes on eBay when it's in really good condition, it goes for way more. Unfortunately, that's the only way of buying the Wii U gamepad specific to The Legend of Zelda Wii U. Nothing else in the bundle is special. The system is just plain black. But look at all those embossed symbols. Again, I'm a sucker for gold. I'm a sucker for The Legend of Zelda. And the fact that you can play games on this alone without a television, it does kind of earn some points because it's such a special controller. I do wish maybe they did a little bit more with the back of the system and maybe even made this a gold gamepad rather than a black one with gold detail work, but I do appreciate it. It kind of really matches the 3DS system that was released for Ocarina of Time. Looks very similar to that as well. This is number 3 for my favorite special edition controllers of all time. Number 2, or the silver medal, is tied with the rarest item in my entire Nintendo collection. This is one of only 1,000, and probably less exist now. This is the Nintendo GameCube Wavebird Char's customized color. This was released exclusively for Club Nintendo of Japan. We do have the Club Nintendo logo on it right back there. It never found its way overseas to North America. It does have a matching receiver for the Wavebird, and the Wavebird is one of the best controllers of all time. Yes, there's a little bit of input lag when you're gaming, but overall, I love the Wavebird controllers. So here what you have is a red controller, two-tone. Two-tone GameCube controllers were pretty common for special editions. The Club Nintendo white and blue one, the Mario, Luigi, and the Wario one, and the Resident Evil 4, I think, all had two-tone controllers. And there was the clear and blue controller, indigo blue, that exists. So we have the two-tone here. We also have the symbol for the game right up there. But it's the fact that this is so incredibly rare that puts it so high up on this list. Now, I mentioned the receiver for a while. There's actually a story about that. I thought I had lost this little guy right here. All of the other Wavebirds have a gray receiver for the controllers themselves. You put this between 1 to 16, and you match it on the bottom of the controller so that you can actually use these. They are usable on the Nintendo Switch, which which is crazy. In the year 2021, we're still using these GameCube controllers. So I lost this for a while because I actually had put it in the wrong box. I put it in the Club Nintendo box for some reason, so I lost it for a while. If you're wondering what year this is released, if you look at the back here, it does say not for resale on this because it was available at Club Nintendo, and it says 2005. So more than 15 years, roughly 16 years old for this. There is a system that was released that matches this. The system box is right here. It's kind of gigantic, of course. The console is right here again with that kind of two-tone theme. It has this so wicked cool black right here of where you put in for the controller ports and the memory card ports. And the system is just so cool. We don't have a red GameCube any other way other than this one right here. And if you're not that interested in maybe getting the Wavebird, because it's so crazy expensive, it's definitely over $1,000 for this Wavebird controller. In this box system, you have this controller right here, which basically matches the Wavebird. It's just not a Wavebird on its own, which looks really cool. The system itself even came with a Game Boy player, which is so cool, and that's what makes the system two-toned once you actually put these two together. That kind of matches the controller, the Wavebird itself. So be aware that these things exist, but the Wavebird controller on its own, definitely tied for the rarest item in my entire collection. It's so cool, it's so collectible, and I cannot believe how expensive this is. I'm so happy I have this in my collection already. Just a note to everyone, make sure you don't have the batteries in this. If you're keeping this for a really long time, of course, the batteries will not work after a little while, and I even have that little sticker on the back right here. That's really nice to see. So cool, so rare, so collectible. Really happy to have this in my collection, and I would never be able to afford this today if I was trying to get it. I think several years ago, I actually do have a video unboxing this one and the system itself. Again, card in the top right-hand corner if you want to check those out. Before we get to number one, I wanted to do 5 honorable mentions, starting with this GameCube keyboard controller. This one I believe is third party. It was released for Phantasy Star Online pretty much exclusively. It does have two-tone, and it is ridiculous to show up to a tournament to try and play on this. We have 2 ports that this plugs into the GameCube with, one for the controller functionality and one for the keyboard functionality, so definitely be aware that that exists. It's quite collectible, but it would be ridiculous to actually play on. From the Nintendo Switch, we have the Xenoblade Chronicles controller that is beautiful, just barely didn't make it onto this list. From the Wii, we have the Peach Wii Remote, as well as all the other Wii Remotes that exist that are character themed. From the Nintendo Wii, we have the Samurai Warriors 3 gold and black controller that was exclusive in this special edition for Japan only. And then from the N64, we have the Nintendo Power 100th issue controller. That's honestly just a gold controller with this sticker slapped on top. So there are 5 honorable mentions, but let me know as a comment below, would you like to see a video from me that goes through all the special edition controllers from every single Nintendo console? Maybe I'll do it console specific per video. Let me know as a comment below. The number one controller for me for special editions, if you watch my channel, you probably know what this is. This is tied at the rarest thing I own. This is the Millennium 2000 silver with black themed controller. This one was released, of course, for the year 2000. It was available as a giveaway contest from Nintendo Power Magazine. What's interesting about this controller is even though it was for the year 2000, it's kind of strange that there were only 1,000 of these made available. You couldn't buy them in stores, it was only through that giveaway. Now the controller itself, it has this wicked silver front with black themed even for the housing of the joystick. The back is that black matte finish as well. And these look fantastic in person. We also have the silver plug right there. Now the controller does have this Millennium 2000 insignia at the top. This is one of the reasons why I got into collecting. It kind of helped start me out once I realized that this was a thing. I'm lucky enough to own this one in my collection, and in the past I actually owned another one of these, but I thought having duplicates of it was just kind of meaningless. Meanwhile, the prices for these have jumped up probably over $1,500. If you want to compare this to other N64 controllers, right here I have the DK64 controller. Look at the housing around the joystick itself. It's black, and the D-pad is also darker black, and all the buttons other than the start button is black as well. So I really like the theming on that. It's silver. We don't get too many silver-themed items from Nintendo. My controller is not in complete mint condition. It's in pretty good shape overall. Some people always ask me, would you ever game with this? I honestly would for special occasions. Maybe it would be something something that I would do for like my 1000th video, because that's probably coming up sometime soon, to actually game with some of my special edition items like this one right here. They're meant to be enjoyed, but honestly, this is like eye candy in my collection. It's so cool. I'm very lucky to have something like this, especially when it's authentic. Be really careful because there is no official box that was ever released for this. I guess theoretically it is possible for people to try and rip you off and make fakes of these. I don't think that's really common for this controller specifically, but man, what a beautiful controller, and the history behind this is why it places itself at #1. But let me know what your #1 pick would be. There you have it, my top 10 special edition controllers from Nintendo systems. Feel free to comment below what is a controller type that you would love to see released from Nintendo in the future. That could be a special edition. I would love to see a Breath of the Wild 2 special edition controller that's a Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch, and a Mario themed one, and even maybe a Mario Kart themed one or an Animal Crossing themed one in the future. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays generally at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This one's special, coming out on a Monday. I post the videos randomly sometimes otherwise. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome, my friends. Go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming. Thanks for watching.